We are live. I'm Jamil Parker, and this is YSM Sports Media. Got a special guest, my man Rob Acosta, strength and
What's up,
conditioning
y'all?
coach to all your favorite fighters. What's good, Rob?
What's up, baby? What's going on?
I'm chilling, man. I who you working with so far? So far this year, 2022.
So right now we're in camp with John Carlos Rivera. Um, we just finished something small with Tamir Smalls, Josh Jones. Now I'll be working with Romero Cruz, Gugo, and some other things in the works right now.
Okay. Like describe for me. You named about 7, 8 guys, and like, how do you balance them all?
Um, So it all depends on who needs to work on what. So like I don't train everybody the same. There is I think last week I had Josh and John Carlos work together, but that's because you know it was week one. So tomorrow when we work, I'm gonna separate the two and then have each one work on specific things. But
Now
it's
they
not
two
as
140s,
difficult,
right?
huh?
They two 40 pounders, right?
Actually, no. Josh is gonna come down to 35.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Was that your decision or was that the camp's decision?
that was Josh actually told me that. He said he wants to
Okay,
come down to 35. So I said, all right, that's cool.
I know he moved up recently, and
Yeah.
for anybody that's never seen Rob's work, let me pull it up.
Over
That's
twist.
good work, Rob.
That's the one.
Where'd he go? Say no.
My bad. Don't.
No, it's funny. I was about to start clowning, but yo, that bar that he used was a 20-pound bar.
20 pounds?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, what does that specific exercise do?
So it's an explosive exercise, and it works a lot of the abdominal section. And it gets a really strong core going in there. Now, when you rocking with a bar like that, you're kind of isolating the arms a little bit because you're
Mm,
holding on to the weight and you're not actually full rotation on the arm. So you're not like opening up all the muscles that need to be open. But when you're rotating and you're causing the impact because of the weight of the bar and the twisting motion of the exercise, it turns into more of an explosive type of exercise that works a lot of the back, a lot of the arms, and especially the core, like around the obliques and things like that. So that works really well from like throwing little hooks, little short shots, and staying nice and balanced using that dead weight power.
so the uppercut that lifted Sergey Lipinets out of his Nikes.
Yo, that shot was crazy.
Now, do you cater certain workouts based off of like certain preparation in camp? Like, okay, like if Mr. Moses says, all right, we're gonna it's gonna be a lot of straight shots. That's gonna be what's available. Do you like
Mhm.
just cater the workout based on the game plan?
So I normally I do have that talk with Bo, like, all right, who's he fighting, whatever, and then once they disclose all that, I'll start researching stuff on my own prior to finding out the game plan. But I really don't really ask Bo what the game plan is because I'm there so often, I'm just watching. So because
Mm.
I'm watching and exactly how everything gets put together, with on their expertise, I just start adding my own twist to everything. And then whatever input I get in return or any feedback, then, we just go off of that.
All right, Rob, we got some comments.
All right.
All right, my man Ronald Finke Crawford has cemented himself as the reigning champion because of undisputed in accomplishments. As far as 147 goes, he's never been undisputed there. So, and he hasn't beaten the other top 47. So we can't really say that he's the guy. What's your thoughts, Rob?
I mean, I agree with you. You know what I mean? Like right now, I wouldn't solidify him as that at all. As a matter of fact, I will put Spence before I put Crawford in there. Spence got
You
the
would have
better
Spence
resume.
being your number one rated as far as like accomplishments and everything, 147
Yeah,
times.
at 47 as of right now, yeah, why not? I mean, as far as still staying on top, also, you know what I mean? He got the better resume at 147. I mean, Keith Thurman got some nice opponents at 47 too. But we're talking about a champion right about now.
All right, we got a question specifically for you, my man Eric Harris. How is that bar and wood chopping different than weightlifting, and why is it better?
So when you talking about the wood chopping, that's more of a hard labor sort of thing. Now, weightlifting is the bar and the weightlifting is somewhat similar. It's just the form that you use. So, like, if you're gonna weightlift, depending on the circumstances and how you use it, whether you're doing it for like putting on muscle mass or you're doing it for lean muscle mass, it all depends on how you actually weightlift. So that's where the difference is in between both come into play. But when it comes to the wood chopping, that's a very old fashioned, old school sort of regimen to use for a lot of guys to get in shape. So when they start chopping, you working on a lot of muscles at that point. You're working on your legs from coming down, your arms shifting over to this weight, and then you're shifting over from this side. So you're working a lot of the deltoids, your lats, which is all your shoulder muscles, your back, and you're working a lot of different muscles on there. So I prefer hard labor over a lot of weightlifting. But the bar is somewhat similar, but it's very lightweight, but it's also used as an explosive. So it's like, you're not benching specific weight, and you can only explode when you're on the bench and you come in here with your chest up and then you explode up. But that's as far as it's gonna go, because obviously your back is on the bench. So there's a big difference and everything else. But if you're gonna go with something that's better, I always go with the hard labor. Hard labor is always probably your best way to go. Anything that's involving more body weight added with light weighted things like a vest or a kettlebell, a bar, some boulders, tree stumps, a tire. You know what I mean? Even though that's still weight, it's weightlifting to a degree. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like going into a gym where you lift things up and put them down.
It's you believe in more boxing related strength and conditioning, right? Where a lot
Yeah,
of guys just do anything. Your stuff is always catered to around actual things that happen in the ring.
yeah, yeah. It gotta relate, because it's not that's not ideal to have someone being trained that you know you can't use football drills on a fighter. It just wouldn't. It just certain things you can use, like the ladder drills for coordination of the feet and the hands and
Hmm.
whatnot. But other than that, that's it. Like, you don't want to do too much. You got to relate everything to a boxing ring and everything that involves boxing in general. You can't just do anything and just go in there and come up with a regimen. That's the difference between the coaches and the trainers. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a big difference in between.
All right, we got the next one. My man Ronald Spence got 2 girdle belts and about to get 3, maybe. I got him beating Ugas.
I got him beating
Um,
Ugas too.
I don't really think Ugas got anything for him. Who has Spence beaten to give him the reigning champion spot of the division?
I want to skip this so bad.
I can't. All right. So for me, I don't really have anybody at the top spot because they haven't fought each other. But who's done the most heavy lifting at 147 pounds after Ugas is going to be Spence. And
Yeah.
then right after that is Thurman. And then right after that would be Bud. To me.
I don't know, because you still got Danny.
True, but then Danny, is Danny moving up? Because that I keep hearing that.
I don't know. I keep hearing rumors about him moving up to 154. So I'm not too sure, man.
All right, this is another one for you. Back, shoulders, muscles always reign supreme.
I don't even know if that's a question.
All right. Do you feel Spence boxing style is a style that can beat anybody in every weight class? Nah.
No. Spence is a straightforward fighter. Like, he just comes forward and, he's strong. The thing about Spence is that he's going to try to beat you down round after round till eventually, your body gives in and then he goes for the kill. But as far as that one hit knockout power type of stuff, no, I don't see that. But he does keep a nice high on guard. But his style really is similar in all his fights. Like, the one fight that I did that impressed me a lot with Spence was him when he fought Kell Brook. Kell Brook was really, laying the rounds in it, and then he made some adjustments and then just broke down. You know what I mean? I had Brook winning that fight up until Spence finished him off.
That shit, hey Ronald, that shit ain't working with no bigger dude. That, I'm a jab, then close the distance, and then I'm just gonna walk him down to beat up his body. Nah. That shit works because he's the bigger man at 147 pounds.
Spence's body is strong. You know what I mean? So it's the thing is, man, like, everybody's remembering Spence right now from when Spence fought back then. Everybody's completely forgetting that the car accident plays a factor, and so does the detached retina. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of what people may think, that even though he beat Danny in that fight, which I didn't think he was going to, but he didn't look like the same Brook that fought Porter. He didn't look like the same the same Spence that fought Brook. He didn't look like the same Spence that fought other guys. He didn't look the same. So there's
He looked like he was having balance issues, right, Rob?
Yeah, like he was falling in a lot. Danny was going to the body, and he was doing this weird thing, like he was like trying to absorb the punches, but he was like all balanced. Like, he didn't look like his equilibrium was there. And you can tell that something was wrong too, because even at the end of the fight, he was saying he was going to talk to his family to see what the next move is, and then take a break from the sport. How you going to take a break from the sport if you was already gone for 16 months? So there's something definitely wrong, and I think he recognized it at the fight. So now with the detached retina, that's something you don't play with. You know what I mean? Like, imagine, you getting hit by a heavy puncher right in the same spot where your eye had a detached retina and you had surgery. Like, there's no telling what's going to happen with that. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's the same fighter. But it's sad because now that if he were to lose in the future, it's going to be an excuse. Oh, he had a car accident, or he had a torn retina and everything else. Like, it's how I go.
Yeah. Boots is going to run the welterweight division in 2023 till he decides to move up. That's what it's going to be. It is what it is. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be the new face of the welterweight division for a long time.
For me, put your favorite fighter up against him. Watch what happens. I'll bet any amount of money.
Yeah,
Crawford, Spence.
I'm putting whatever y'all want, man.
I know that shit makes me sound like a homer. You know what I mean? But
right.
Shit, if you seen what we seen, then you'll know.
Yeah. It's just different, bro. It's just you just gotta see it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. He is moving up. I didn't know that. I didn't know Danny was moving up. I know that there was rumors and talks about him moving up, but I didn't know he was moving up.
All right, question for you, my man, Jason Brown. Does squatting generate power or any other lower body workouts? So,
Yeah, most definitely, man. Like in all honesty, I'm a big fan of squats, man. Um, I'm a fan of using. See, the thing is too, like you got to understand that when you do squats, you don't want to dominate the legs too much because a fighter is always using his legs. You know what I'm saying? So he using his legs when he boxing around in the ring. He using the legs inside the ring. He's using the legs when he's sitting on his punches. He's using the legs and when he's running, when he's sprinting. So to work on his legs, on a daily basis, that's not something I would advise. And I've encountered a recent fighter who came to me and wanted me to start working with him because in the past he worked with other people who just always worked on his legs, and he just didn't feel good. And it's terrible because especially in our ring is like soft cushion, so it's a puncher's ring. So it's not like one of those speed rings where it feels solid, man. You always working on your legs. But I agree. I think squatting does generate a lot of power. Funny story. So back in 2008 or 2009, one of them 2 years, I was working with his fighter. His name was Mike Jones. He was like one of the big
I
things
remember
coming
Mike
out of
Jones.
Philly, right? And I used to have him do so many squats like over and over and over and over. But I did it like maybe twice a week. Then we would go out running and then we would do a lot of other exercises and stuff like that. So he was actually in a fight, and I can't remember who's the dude who he fought, but he got hit and lost his balance. He literally squatted down while backing up, like kind of losing his balance, like retracting his body. And his legs went into squat form, and he was able to spring up and throw a crazy ass combination and land them without feeling weak. So I think, squats is definitely something that should be incorporated in boxing, especially, getting rocked with a shot. And then it's like, you're getting down. You got to have them strong legs. The first thing that's going to go is your legs.
Yeah. Now, is that one of the reasons why Deontay Wilder struggled against Tyson Fury? Like, Wilder got
You know
really,
what
really
though,
good
man?
power
A lot of
with his
fighters don't work on their legs. I don't know why. I can't wrap my head around it. I think it's a very, very it's a very flawed way to train when it comes to not involving the legs. But as far as Wilder, man, Wilder should have used other remedies and other types of techniques to keep his balance in order rather than just being all over the place. His legs were weak, but just because a person got skinny legs don't mean that they're weak. For example, like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's legs look bony as I don't know what. But when Sugar Shane caught him with that shot, man, his legs, he did his thing. So you can tell that he naturally has strong ass legs. They just don't look it. We got another guy trains at our gym, Tamir Smalls. His legs are bony as I don't know what, but his legs are so damn strong. You know what I mean? But it just because it doesn't look it doesn't mean that it is. You know what I mean? But I think Wilder should have just had a different approach. That's all.
All right. My man Ace says, I think Danny fights Thurman later this year. You heard it first. That was a good. That first fight was good.
I don't think that fight gonna happen.
I wouldn't mind seeing it. I'd rather see Thurman versus.
I just don't think it's gonna happen. It serves no purpose.
I'd rather see Thurman versus Boots or Thurman versus Crawford. But I'm curious to see what Danny looks like at 154 pounds.
I honestly would like to see Thurman's versus Ugas.
Yeah, but Spencer's fighting Ugas, so but yeah,
I know. I'm just saying, like even depending on the circumstances.
All right, so my man Eric said, I said Keith did more, but Spence just got the hardware now. As far as resume, Keith, Scooter, and Lubin got their best resumes in boxing to me. Lubin?
Lubin?
I don't know. Cool Boy's resume is getting there. It's not littered with names, like top names. But as far as like the road to 20 wins, nobody had it tougher than Cool Boy. Nobody.
Yeah, I agree. And he showed up every single time.
Yeah. My man Ronald Finkley, so that's the case. How can we sit and allow the answer not being able to take place? Who reigns? It would be crazy if Spence lose. If Spence lose to Ugas? I don't think that Ugas has.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but I mean anybody can have an off night. Anybody can really lose, honestly, but I don't think
Thurman. I know you don't believe this, but I think Thurman could give Spence problems. Go ahead, laugh. I see your face. Go ahead, laugh.
No, I'm not answering that.
One time, man. Yeah. One time, all the time. KOs for life. One time's back, man.
Yeah, shut up, man.
My man Ronald, who's Scooter? Oh, Scooter is Stephen Fulton. That's the hood nickname. All right, so Lubin, Eric, tell me about Lubin resume that makes it better than Canelo, please. I don't know, man.
Yo, I'm not even answering that.
I don't know. Lubin versus Fedora still happening? I might
even put Ace in a bubble.
Who's that?
Huh? I said I might even put Ace in a bubble just because like that question was ridiculous.
All right, Hustle Man, who do you think would be the toughest fight for Boots right now from 147 to 154? Good question.
From 147 to 154?
Yeah.
You know what? I would say at 147, not as far as his toughest fight, but like challenging to date, I would definitely say Spence. Only because I think Spence will go past 6 rounds. That would be one of those late stoppages or late knockout type of fights. It's not going to be early. It's not going to be a Delorme. You know what I mean? I don't think it'll be something like that. I think it'll be later just because Spence has been in there with some good fighters. He can make some good adjustments. And I think once he feels that power that Boots is delivering, then I think that's when the game plan changes. Crawford has the best boxing ability to try to test Boots' IQ or what he can do and not do. But I don't think that Crawford will be able to take any shot that Boots is going to throw. I really don't. If he get hit with any of those shots that Porter touched him with, Crawford is going to sleep. As far as 154 and 154, even though he's old, but Islandi Lara would have been decent because that's a nice technical boxing fight. And Islandi Lara been in there with Canelo, so it's not like he can't take power.
Yo, that's a name that I didn't even think about.
Yeah, I would like to see that. That's a nice technical boxing fight.
At his best, that would have been a really good fight.
Yeah, most certainly. And then I would say Jeff Hurd also.
Jared Hurd?
Yeah. I mean, Jared Hurd, my bad. I said Jeff Hurd.
For me, Brian Castano.
Yeah, that's another good one. Another good one. Yeah, for sure.
I don't think Boots has problems until he gets to 54. Like, as in, I think he stops Bud. I think he stops Spence.
Mm-hmm.
Spence would have been a lot tougher before the accident in the retina.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's hard. It's really hard to put Spence in any category because of how he's how he is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know for real. We don't know if he 100% for real. Remember that one interview? Somebody posted, I think it was on Fight Hype, when it was like, how's your eye? He was like, it's fine to me, is what he said. What fighter ain't gonna say that? If a fighter hurts his hand and breaks his hand, yo, how's your hand? Oh, my hand cool.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's he said it's fine to me. So in other words, there's people that are giving their second opinions, like, bro, I don't think this is a wise decision.
Let's get to these comments real fast because they're starting to pile up on us, Rob.
All right,
you can tell Wilder doesn't understand balance too well. I agree.
Yeah.
Terrence and Boots, I love that fight. Shit, I would love that fight next. I like Fulton. Hope he didn't get too injured. No, he's straight.
Yeah, he's solid.
He's straight. He back in the gym and everything. Majisan Brown, how would Crowley fare against Boots?
You talking about Cody Crowley?
Yeah, I think
going to sleep.
No, I think Cody Crowley would fare very well. You know, he's going to fare very well if you last longer than Delorme.
Who's not going to last longer than Delorme, bro?
I'm just saying. If that's the gauge, if that's how we're gauging it, I think Cody lasts three rounds, 4 rounds.
All right.
Thurman don't get KOs. It's hard.
Yo.
Listen, come on.
I was having a conversation. I was wrapping somebody's hands today at the gym, right? And we were talking about the Thurman fight. And it was a very funny ass comment. He was like, I'm tired of Keith Thurman calling himself one time, because when was the last time you one time knocked somebody out? And he said, you got to do it many times. So you got to change your name to like many times Thurman, not no one time. Which is kind of true, though. Like, he hasn't knocked nobody clean out with 1 to 2 shots since how long?
Okay. I'm going to hit you with another one. Earl Spence calls himself man down. Man down, big fish. When's the last time Earl knocked somebody out? It seemed like when you get to that really, really high level, the knockouts don't come like
but you know what, though? Man down can mean many things. I could go for a knockdown. I could go for a knockdown. All I'm saying is I could go for a knockdown. He did knock Porter down with a nice little short hook. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Ugas versus Thurman and Spence versus Crawford. That would be ideal.
Yeah. That would be decent. I would like to see that. But I got Spence beating Crawford and I got Ugas beating Thurman.
I think that's a misstep in boxing. If a guy ain't got a name, we overlook him as a good test / win for his opponent. Yeah, true. I think people misconstrue good promotion with being a good fighter. There's plenty of good fighters that don't really have the name, but then when you put them in the ring, it's just like the perfect example. Rob, would you say that fans and media, we judge fights on paper and then they get in the ring and it'd be completely different?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's not going to be a good fight. It's going to be a horrible fight. He going to wash him. And then he just get in there and whoop his ass.
Yeah, but see, you know what, though? A lot of people, what the most common thing that gets forgotten about in boxing is that styles make fights. So just because you never heard of a person or that resume isn't fantastic doesn't mean that they're not going to go in there and give a person a tough fight. Cambosos, Lopez, right? Who would have thought? Jeff Horn, Pacquiao. Who would have thought? Madonna and Adrian Broner. Madonna and Amir Khan. Madonna and Victor Ortiz. Who would have thought?
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it goes off that. Matter of fact, what was the bull name? Castillo, what's his name? Castillo Clayton? Am I saying that name right? Clayton. Yeah, like when he came and he fought for the first time fresh out of Canada. You know what I'm saying? Like, he all right. He could box. Strong. You know what I'm saying? But you can't go off of that, because I'm pretty sure look, man, I bet you there's a lot of ball players that are not in the NBA that could play better than LeBron and everybody else. So
It seemed like you hyping Castillo Clayton up.
I'm not
Like
hyping him
I
up.
like it. It seemed like you. I wonder why you hyping him up, Rob.
No. I'm saying that I'm basically going off of the name, the overlooking name. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like when I seen him fight, it was all right. You know what I mean? He cool.
you had a lot of compliments, man. Is that uh, beefing him up for when y'all knock his head off?
Who's
You know what I'm saying?
y'all for Boots?
Yeah.
I don't know who's Boots' next opponent though.
No. I know, but everybody thinks that the IBF is going to order Castillo Clayton. That's
Oh
what the
well, that's
speculation.
who it is. Then good luck.
I mean, it seemed like you was fueling up the gas tank, man. I'm just throwing that
No,
out there,
I'm
man.
not filling up the gas tank. I call it for what it
Oh,
is.
how
I like the dude.
all right, this is for me. YSM, you're definitely a homer, my guy. But Boots, that guy, some of these other guys you be co-signing be middy as fuck. Nah, bro. Uh, you gonna see like dudes like Rasheem Jefferson, Paul Crawl, uh, Milton Santiago. There's some dudes, man. There's some dudes in this area that you're gonna see when they get to the top level, they definitely gonna make some noise. That was a brutal fight, Fulton versus Figueroa.
I don't get it.
Huh?
I don't get it.
Misses.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Damone Daniels, salute to you, YSM. Hey Damone, my guy, I just sent you something. You know what I'm saying? Damone always shows a lot of love, man. Really appreciate you. I made my man Damone a moderator. Every time I go live, he's on here. Earthquake Spence tailor made for boots. Yeah, you damn right. You damn right. Toughest test is Jamel Charlo. That's a good fight. Boots versus Jamel Charlo. That's a good fight. You were quiet over there, Rob.
No, I ain't worried about no Jamal Charlo, man.
Yo, I hope nobody don't see this, man. You know, the Charlos be hyped. What? I'll fight him right now. What?
Yeah.
Charlos wake up angry. They brush their teeth angry.
Yo, seriously, man. They're like hawks.
Earthquake Spence too stationary. Yeah. Spence is the most consistent fighter in boxing, but it's ABCD straight up and down, no special effects.
Yeah. There's nothing really special about him. He's mastered fundamentals.
Or another tough test is Fundora, tall and rugged as fuck.
We talking about the 6'7" boy?
Yeah.
He going to sleep, bro. That boy, he take one of them body shots, it's over.
Yeah, he's too big to fight Boots. Boots is too good laterally. He'll beat his body to death, bro.
Bro,
He'll beat his body to death.
I think if Boots hit him in the ribs, his half of his body will fall off.
Yo, and Eric, we've seen him stop cruiserweights.
I can't say nothing about that.
No, he admitted it. He admitted it in the interview, so we can
That's
say
cool.
it. Yeah.
I can't.
Undefeated cruiserweight. Stop them, multiple times, not just once, multiple times. And we talking about a dude that's like 6'3", 200. Like, he ain't no small guy. Boots will beat the dog shit out of Crowley, and he the type that will take an ass whooping for a couple rounds. Crowley will lose about 10 years out of his life in that fight. Yeah. Yo, man, that's the funny thing fighting certain fighters. Like fighting Floyd, it's a big payday.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get outboxed. You might get embarrassed, but you're gonna get outboxed. Certain dudes, they're going to affect the quality of life later on.
Yeah.
Your Wilders, your Canelos, Boots. Who else is it? Dude, Better Beef, just dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's facts.
Oh, he talking shit. Earthquake said Laura boxes Ennis up. Ooh.
Okay.
Not at 39. Not at
Okay.
39. We haven't seen Boots take a real shot yet. Either hasn't been pushed, and I like Boots as a fighter. Wants to see how he reacts to real adversity. I've seen him take shots in what against DeLorme May and Olympians. He ate him.
Mm-hmm.
He walked through him.
Yeah, and he got caught clean.
Yeah, flush.
Like, they were clean. Hold on, real quick, Art.
Yeah, if you go and look at right before he knocked out DeLorme, he got caught with a very flush shot in between one of his punches. And he took like a half step back, gathered himself, and just put DeLorme on life alert. Like DeLorme was like this. He looked like he was waiting for a warm rag. He was oh man. Only Bud can give Boots problems? Nah. I think it'd be a competitive fight for about 4 or 5 rounds. I think Bud likes to fight too much. But mind you, I think Bud
Only Bud could give
great
Boots
fighter.
problems. You think so? Why you think that?
I think Bud gets clipped. Bud likes to fight too much. And that
Bud
kid
gonna
ain't the
get-
kid that you fight.
Bud gonna get fucked up.
Earthquake, that ain't a kid that you fight. Because you look at Bud. Bud is fast, Bud has really good power. Bud's a switch hitter.
Mm-hmm.
A good boxer, good skills, not really technical.
Yeah.
Because he has like a awkward street fight. He's a street fighter with skills.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to describe him, he doesn't do things the orthodox way, and that's what makes him so tough to deal with because he has his own way about him, and it's like tough. It's really tough to pinpoint when, like, what Bud is going to throw and when he's going to throw it.
Yeah.
Problem is, man, you're dealing with a bigger, 10 years younger, faster, stronger dude that can switch. Sorry. It's not going to go well. Rob, have you ever seen Boots in a tough sparring match? If so, what weight class was the competitor?
I'm sorry, but I can't answer that. But to give you a straight answer, no.
Why you saying it with the cold serious face?
Cause like I can't discuss like sparring.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But that's it. I just can't talk about stuff that happens in the gym. Sorry, bro.
Damone Daniels, y'all tripping. Boots doesn't stop Bud. Yes, the fuck he does.
What you betting on it?
in Damone, I still think that Bud would probably beat Earl. I think it'd be a tough fight, but I think Bud
so?
beats her. Yeah, I think Bud beats her.
I don't think so.
He could do more.
I think when Bud gets touched and he goes southpaw, that's gonna be Earl Spence thing right there. Southpaw versus southpaw.
Yeah, I've never seen Earl against a southpaw since Chris Van Heerden. So, you know, they say that how you determine how good a southpaw is when you see him against another southpaw.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a good rematch. Charlo versus Castano. Love that fight.
That is.
They be tough, but Boots would beat the F out of all them dudes. Yeah. Yeah, Eric. Yeah. Ronald, that should have been put on pay-per-view. Really great fight, and it's for Undisputed. Charlo versus Castano. Would you pay for that on pay-per-view?
Not for that fight. I gotta see what the undercard looking like.
Oh, your undercard dude? You need a stat card?
Yeah, I'm not paying no $80 for just one fight, bro. You tripping?
What's the last pay-per-view you paid for?
Ugas Pacquiao.
Okay. Earthquake say they interview him a lot. They gonna say that. I'm being honest with you. I interview a lot of people. That's just how I feel. I'm not a dude. I'm not gonna cat just because I know a guy or the guy shows love to the channel. I think he literally stops them dudes. I mean, Ronald Finkley, Boots okay, but let's be honest, he only at the starting point, not fighting C-class boxers. I hate when y'all do that, yo.
Boots okay, but let's be honest.
I hate when y'all do that. It's all right. What's a C-class fighter? To me,
Yeah.
a C-class fighter isn't a dude who wins a world title. Sergey Lipinus was a world champion, only had one loss. He got starched. Like, okay, Thomas Delorme.
Hold on.
Thomas Delorme.
Before anything, right?
Good.
Boots okay, but let's be honest. He only just started fighting not C-class fighters. What about Cambosos?
Good point.
And I'll wait for you to answer that. So I'm gonna skip you right now.
Lee Selby and Bentio. And I don't think Tio's an A-class fighter.
No, but it is what
Not
like
yet, at least. Earthquake, because nobody want to fight him. He's been fighting at the elite level since the amateurs. Damone, that's where they didn't even put the mismatches on pay-per-view. Bud is one of the true knockout artists and finishers in boxing. Give him credit. Give him the credit. Stopped everyone at 147 pounds, no matter what you feel. Yeah, I'm not taking nothing. I'm not taking nothing away from him. We're talking about a specific fight. Can't take nothing away from what Bud's done at 147 pounds and 140 pounds. I just believe in this particular fight, he'll get stopped. It's like just like you can't take nothing away from Earl Spence. Earl Spence has had success at 147 pounds, had success as an amateur. But you think Bud has still beat him, right? Crawford is too small for Boots. Here you go, Rob. What do y'all think about Josh Taylor moving up and possibly fighting Boots?
that'd be nice. That'd be nice, but I think Josh Taylor's too small.
The jump from 140 to 147 pounds. Like, how important are those 7 pounds in boxing?
Big, bro. It's a major difference because some 147 pounders, they walk around 170, 180. You know what I mean? And they're used to their carried weight for a specific bout. You know what I'm saying? To fight at 47, that's it. They're just bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like you could look at a person's size and be like, yeah, you could tell he's too small to be in a much bigger weight division. That's like when running backs in the NFL are 5'6". You're like, damn, you too small. But his body frame is fucking huge. Darren Sproles was a big body. You know what I mean? And he went out there and did his thing.
Couldn't
So
Darren Sproles like bench press like 400 or something crazy?
I don't know. I know. I saw him one time in Vegas airport. No, Philly airport. And he's not that tall, but he is a stocky ass dude. Like he's, you know what I mean? So, but I mean, moving up in that 7 pounds, that does make a drastic change, bro. Even if you're losing weight, right? And say you're not used to fighting at 47, but you weighing at 149, the last 2 pounds can drain the shit out of you. So it does make a difference.
All right, same weight class, no excuse, settle in the ring. I agree. I want to see all these fights. Castillo
Yeah.
versus Ennis. That is a good look because Castillo looks stronger than others like Jamal James.
Um, I think Jamal is just too. I don't think he can make the weight. You know what I mean? I think Castillo is. I never seen him in person. I'm only going off of the one fight that I did see him. He looks like a solid dude. You know what I mean? But it'll be an interesting fight.
Boots is gonna step on Clayton. I agree, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I seen Castillo. Castillo didn't look good against the dude like 18 and 19, the dude Cameron Crail. I think the Lipinets, and I think Castillo is a solid fighter. But I think that there's just levels. And if they ever get in the ring, then you're gonna see a drastic level like
Yeah.
difference. Castillo said Boots ducked him.
Next.
Yeah, we actually addressed that in a couple of interviews, Earthquake. So you can watch them. Whereas though they talked about Castillo Clayton. What's going on with Rasheen Jefferson? Taking a little break right now. Had a really active 2020 and 2021, and he should be back in the ring 2022.
Mm.
Really good fighter though. Really good fighter. Unfortunately, Pennsylvania prisons got some cold ass fighters since forever. Yeah. Rob, how many dudes you know that was nice? That's something greatest for it, man.
Yo, seriously, bro.
Boots versus Lubin would be a good fight
That'd
too.
be nice. That'd be nice. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, that is a good fight. We might see that shit in the future. Boots versus Lubin.
Yeah, yeah, it's possible.
Who wins? I asked you like a week ago. You never told me your pick. Gary Antoine Russell, or Brandon Lee. That's a fight that should happen this year. No point to wait. Oh shit, Ace. I'm gonna let Rob go. That's a tough joke.
Ant Russell. That's the one. Isn't he fighting?
Victor Postal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go with Brandon.
Really?
I'll go with Brandon. Yeah.
Okay. I think Antoine beats him. And
Yeah.
I think it's a very good fight. I think Antoine beats him. Antoine got a really good pedigree, man.
Mm.
Really good pedigree. Okay. Real talk, Charlos act like they want this bitch. Facts. Facts. Hey, coach, tough test. Not they going to win. Boots steps on everybody. I'm team Boots all day. My faves, Boots, Bud, and Devin.
Okay.
All right, I like Fundora. He's 6'6", not 6'3". I need to see where his chin at though. He hit hard as fuck. Yeah, but all right. So a 6'6", 154-pounder and a 6'3", 200-pounder that walks around 220, 230.
How does he know he hit hard as fuck though?
Fundora stretched a couple dudes, but ask Sergio Garcia. He didn't look like He was bothered.
Yeah.
He didn't look like he was bothered at all. Virgil Ortiz might give Boots problems. Jay, no. Virgil gets stopped. So. Virgil's a big. Yo, did anybody see the picture of Virgil standing next to Brian Castano?
Yo, he's small.
Yo, Virgil made Brian Castano look small. But to answer your question, Jay, no. Virgil's too slow, too basic.
Man.
Jokers really think Bud a gimmick. I can't wait to hear the next excuse when Bud get a KO. Number 10, I guess they wasn't big enough.
What? What are you talking about?
I don't think anybody thinks Bud is a gimmick. Bud is an elite fighter.
Yeah, I think that Bud is great. I don't see nothing. If people want to ask me what Bud gonna do with Boots or anybody like that, you think I'm crazy? Listen, man, but I just don't think that Crawford has, not because it was his fault, but he hasn't really fought a lot of top 47s. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's not his fault. I think a fighter he's gonna fight whoever you put in front of him. There's no, I'm scared of him, or I'm scared of that, and that's not real. You know what I mean? Fighters are gonna fight, but it has to make sense. So for right now, I think Crawford, leaving Top Rank and possibly going somewhere else, wherever he may end up, is going to be one of the greatest moves. And then now we can really see what Bud can do against top-notch type guys. You know what I mean? Like right now, yeah, he stopped Porter, but did he really stop Porter? Let's keep it G. Did he really stop Porter, or did Kenny Porter say in the post-conference he was already going to throw in the towel no matter what happened? So it didn't matter. It didn't matter who he was in there with. Huh?
I really didn't like that stoppage. I really didn't.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, if Kenny said that in the post-conference, that he was convinced that he was going to stop it no matter what, then did Crawford really stop him? Because I don't think Porter was hurt. You know what I'm saying? But that I'm not taking credit from Crawford. I think Crawford fought a great fight. You know what I'm saying? But I've also seen Crawford perform much better than what he did against Porter.
Ortiz sparring with Brian Castano right now. He going to look great by the end of the year. It's a style thing. It's a style
I agree with that too. Styles make fights, man. You know what I mean? And then it's sparring, so it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, Greg says it all the time. You can't really judge nobody just off of sparring by itself. Like, you don't know what the other person's going through. You don't know what they just finished doing. You don't know if they ate something, they don't feel good. They probably was arguing with their girl. If they got some ass, you don't know. Sparring, you can't really go off of sparring. Sparring is not the full-fledged, the full effect of the fighter. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's good that he's getting them prepared. That's dope. You know what I mean?
All right, this for you, Rob.
Oh, that's my young. That's Nelson. What's up, youngin?
Oh, that's Nelson.
Sleep, yeah, man.
Nelson, the coolest fighter in the history of boxing, man.
Yo, he need to go to sleep. It's school tomorrow.
Yo, we need to get Nelson a do-rag sponsorship, yo.
Yeah, seriously.
Nelson on the front of the do-rags, man.
Him and Gio got all kinds of do-rags, all kinds of colors. You know, when you go inside the little hood beauty stores and they got the wigs and all that on the mannequin heads, I think them two got do-rags on a whole bunch of mannequin heads in their room.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they walk up to him and they look at their outfit.
Walk up to him and they're looking at it. They got their outfit laid out on the bed and shit. Like, that do-rag gonna look good with this John.
Yo, and Nelson Kate be out. That's how you think. That's how you know he cool. His Kate be out.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
wind,
He
so the
got
wind
the
can
yard
catch him.
out. The
Yeah, like he a
the fucking
superhero.
John, the prison yard do rag.
Oh man, Terrence Crawford has deceiving power against anyone. It's good power, but I feel like it's punch placement.
You know what I
It
like
is what it
about
is.
Crawford? Crawford do got power, but I think a lot of Crawford's knockouts is because you don't just see the punch coming. So because he could punch and then you don't see it coming, the punches that knock you out are the ones that you don't see coming. So I mean, I think he definitely got some power to him for sure.
Really, really good punch variation.
Mm-hmm.
Can't see him beating Laura. I can. Good fight. Both Charlos losing this year. It could happen if Maul faces Canelo and Castano could duplicate what he did in the first 6 rounds, the whole fight. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's nothing wrong with having your faves if you're in the media. Philly boxing forever. I'm definitely a diehard Philly guy. Castano is a better fighter than Mel, and Canelo stopping Maul. Uh, both could it could happen. I can't say Castano is better fighter than Mel. I can't say that.
There's a lot of comments, bro.
I'm not saying he world ranked in a good order, but I'm only the messenger of the eye test, bro. Oh man, you is cool, Rob.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you is. Yeah. Yo, they like such a beat boots. You like, no, no. The Iceman, Rob, the Iceman Acosta. That should sound good.
Nah, no, it don't.
Yeah, though. Charlos are headhunters. They don't know how to work the body.
Yo,
I see. They arguing with each
wasn't
other.
this shit supposed to be a Q&A?
Yes. Yes. Fellas, ask Rob a question.
Yo, like what the fuck? I just see, basically a lot of
There we
relevant
go.
shit.
All right, so let's see Boots versus Castillo. All this hype about beating Lipinets ain't it for me. I mean, he should. Is you gonna give him props for after he do Castillo dirty? All right, Rob, we got one for you. Fantasy fights. How does Boots do against Prime, Leonard, or Mayweather? Damn. I haven't even seen Boots Prime.
Yeah, like that's not a good fantasy fight. What's a fantasy fight though is fantasy fight between a prime Leonard and a prime Floyd.
All right, but still, see if you. I want to hear your answer.
What, mine?
All right, so I'm going to help Damone. I'm going to add more detail to it. The Floyd that beat Arturo Gatti versus Boots, and the Ray Leonard that beat Tommy Hearns.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Boots.
I'm not answering that, bro, because it's like he hasn't reached the prime yet, bro. Like he
I
hasn't.
tried to get it. Hey, yo, I tried to lure him into that one.
I'm not gonna answer that shit. But if you use the two same comparisons for fighting each other, then all right, answer that. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I'll answer it. I don't fully know what Boots is yet. I know that he could compete with those two,
Yeah.
but time will tell You know exactly. We haven't even seen him at the height of his powers. We've seen the best Ray Leonard had to offer. We've seen
You
the
can't
best
you can't use any
Floyd had to offer.
fantasy fight right now. Can't use any fantasy fight until you really see the career unfold later. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard for even me to convince people how good that man really is without exposing anything that happens in the gym. You're just gonna have to trust the word. But if that's the case, then you're just gonna have to wait till it unravels. That's all.
I do think that Boots could beat Money. Boots versus Pretty Boy. You know, Pretty Boy was a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, it was.
Money's, older dude. I think he has the ability to beat Money. Pretty Boy, that's a tough night for any human being. Ray Robinson, Ray Leonard, anybody. Rob's the best strength and conditioning coach in the business.
What's up, Nello? All right, hold on. There's a dude here that he asked a question regarding a pool. I'm gonna start answering questions that has to do with the conditioning aspect, and I'm gonna avoid all this other stuff. There's a couple of people on here that funny as shit though. Yeah.
Hey, yo, subscribe to 210 Boxing TV. New channel, really good content. Uh, the Mexican guru himself, Brandon Walker of YSM Sports Media, started his own 210 Boxing TV. Real boxing.
Is 210 the area code?
Yeah, he's San Antonio dude.
Yeah, Mexico. See, like, look, I want to answer the questions relating to my job, pertaining to my job. I'm not gonna right now. If I go into defense with all these other people talking about Boots this and who he's up against and what team and da 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 da, like it's just gonna go on forever and ever because at the end of the day, until it happens, it's all opinionated.
James Allen Cooper says Ennis looks like a 60-pounder. How long will he stay in the welterweight division?
Until he unifies.
Rob, I'm going to expound on this question. How in the hell are you taking a huge 160-pounder? I know this is a team effort. A dude that looks like he would be big for that class, and not melting him down, but getting him to 147 and him still being strong and explosive.
How does it get done?
Yeah, how does it get done?
Well, you said so yourself earlier. It's a really large team effort. It also is about his body type. So he has a high metabolic rate. So he eats comfortably and he burns it comfortably. So it's not like he never would struggle with weight, but also he works incredibly hard. So for the amount of work, the work rate that he puts into the gym, he has to eat comfortably. But I think he can he's just different, and it's about helping him lose the weight comfortably and making sure that he's not losing any muscle mass and that he's maintaining his lean mass and also keeping the muscular endurance where he's still feeling energetic and he's still feeling kind of hydrated also without being too sluggish in certain certain times of him cutting the weight down. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense, but he does really well. It's not hard, but it's not any mistake can ruin anything. So it's very planned out thoroughly, and I never have to worry about him because he does eat well. He does stick to his diet. He does take his vitamins. He does everything that needs to be done to get him down to that weight. He's very, very focused and determined.
Jashawn Brown, does pool work help fighters' conditioning?
Yeah, most certainly, bro. I really like to incorporate pool exercises with fighters. Um, the only problem is that I don't know how to swim, but I know I know it's fucked up, right? But I don't know how to swim, but I know what exercises a person can use to condition a fighter. You know, you could run the sprints, shadow box. There's these dumbbells that are really big. They look like fans almost. So instead of grabbing the actual weight, because you know weight is a little lighter underwater, but if you grab the fan, it gives it more resistance. So when you go underwater and you shadow boxing and you throwing, you know, all your weight behind it, the fan it kind of rotates like a propeller, and it gives it so much more resistance behind your punching power, well, behind your speed rather. And those exercises are great. There's a lot of core and ab exercises that you can do in the pool. A lot of guys use the pool to get themselves in shape for fights. I think the pool is fantastic.
The pool is an old school method, right? I seen
Yeah,
Ali
yeah, yeah,
throw
yeah.
punches in the pool.
Running laps, working out. Yo, it's so effective. It's so effective. It just sucks because like unless if you got an actual Olympic size pool and a place that's really private, you know, that's the only way you can really go about it. But other than that, you know, I think it's a very great tool to use.
Appreciate you, Ronald. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Age 30, what weight do you see Boots at, Coach?
At age 30 in six
Yeah.
years, um, 60.
How many miles should you be running as an amateur?
That's a good question. So for amateurs, it's best for longevity runs so you can maintain the weight, keep it down. Then you got other days where you're running for like time based. So if you're trying to do 2 miles in under 14 minutes or 15 minutes or something like that, that's cool too. But because of the amateurs being so short lived, so it's only 3 minutes, 3 rounds. You're not going no more, no less. It's best to do a lot of sprints, incorporate it with the runs. So say if you do 2 miles, that's good enough. If you do 3 miles, that's still good. Anything over than that may be a little bit overdoing it. So if you're gonna do like 2 miles, I would use like an interval app, kind of like this. So obese. Can I touch the Joe? God damn it. So it'll look. Man, I can't see shit.
I don't see
So
that. I don't
look,
see anything.
yeah, my bad. So it's an interval timer app, and you can actually set it up where you can have it high intensity, low intensity. So if you're gonna do like say like 2 miles, set it up for a minute a piece. and then try your best, or do 30 seconds, 40 seconds with a low intensity. So then you'll do, say for an example, you start off the warm up with just 2 minutes, but then the high intensity kick in. You're going to haul ass for as fast as you can go until you hear that bell. And then now you're going to go into the low intensity where now you're just running. You're just jogging at a moderate pace. So when you're jogging at a moderate pace at that moment, whether it be 30 seconds, 45, a minute, that's going to be the time that you use to catch your breath before the next segment starts. Once the next segment starts, you take off again. And you keep repeating it over and over and over until two things. One, you fail, or two, you reach your 2 mile or 3 miles. I think that's the best way to do it for amateurs.
All right. Want to send a shout out to my man, Damone Daniels, for the super chat. Really appreciate you, bro. Boots and Shakur, who's more complete and a bigger upside? Boots. I feel like the only thing Shakur lack is elite level power, which Boots has. But as far as like who's fought the better competition, it's obviously Shakur, beating Jamel Herring. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Boots, I feel like Boots is more complete and with the bigger upside. Rob, this is for you. What does your diet look like, and how many miles do you run?
Me? Like, are you asking me personally? Or you're asking for fighters? I'll come back to you, but just answer that. I don't know if you're pertaining this question relating to me personally or something else.
What should young kids do to increase power? My son is starting boxing. He's 7.
Chill out. Don't even do anything. He's still growing. So you don't want to do anything increasing power or anything like that. Like, he's a growing kid. So even at starting, my son is starting boxing. He's 7. You got a 7-year-old, bro. Like, he can't even compete until he's 8. So you're trying to have him be a knockout artist at 8 years old? Like, that's weird, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So what I would do is just let him grow. But if you're gonna do anything, I would have him being accustomed to doing body weight type of exercises. Like, I would have him do push-ups or some pull-ups, some sit-ups and things like that. And of course, with proper technique. Don't do it where it's like don't throw a weighted vest on him. He's a kid. He still got room to grow. You're not gonna know what type of power he really has until he's older. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's not strong and that he's, anything like that. But, I wouldn't incorporate anything to increase power. Just let him grow. Coach. Okay. How many miles do you run and what do you eat? So I run typically 4 miles at a minimum. I can do 4 miles like in repeated days. So like, say if I'm running Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll run 4 miles all 3 days. Thursday, I'll probably do like a 5-mile run. Then I won't run Friday. And then I'll pick my miles back up on Saturday, and then I'll rest Sunday. So the reason why I do that is because since I'm almost 40, I got into a few car accidents, and my legs aren't as young as I would like them to be. So I can't do it every day. So what I would do is I try to incorporate a nice steady pace, and I try to challenge myself every so often, and then go from there. And now, as far as what I'm eating, I'm a pescatarian. So, but it's pescatarian with more vegetarian traits. So like when I eat, I consume fish very rarely. So I don't eat fish like every day. I don't even eat fish more than twice a week. It's too high in mercury, especially if you get something that's, farm raised or something like that. You know what I mean? It's high on mercury. So if you want to get something that's wild caught, you got to be careful what you get that's wild caught, because certain fish, is like if you go to a supermarket, right, and you see Atlantic salmon, that's a farm raised fish. There's no such thing as an Atlantic salmon.
True.
You know what I mean? But if you get like a stockeye salmon, that's a whole different thing, which is why it's so rare to find. So fishes like that is more wild caught, I'll consume. But anything outside of that, I don't. So I eat a lot of vegetables. Like earlier today, I ate cauliflower rice medley with some with cauliflower rice. Yeah. Here's the thing is, it's a big ass bag, and the serving size is 3, but it's 50 calories. So it's 150. What?
I'm not eating cauliflower rice.
Yo, come on, man. That shit was banging, bro. You put a little bit of sauce on it.
I don't believe you, bro.
Come on, man. Put a little bit of sauce on that shit. Put a little bit of sauce, on that shit.
Nobody likes cauliflower. Nobody. It's broccoli's ugly cousin.
It is. It's like me standing next to you. No, but yo, listen. But that's what I normally do. Like I eat. I'm very well restricted. Plus, I'm also I consume a lot of fruits. I eat vegetables. I take my sea moss. I get my vitamins. I do all that stuff. So I'm pretty solid.
You're sitting there talking shit, but you see this luscious beard, man. You're Joe looking real. You're Joe looking shabby, man. This is looking luscious.
Nigga, man. I don't, bruh. Like I don't even. I'm not even gonna shape it up until it's ready.
This is a plush Joe, man.
Yo, first of all, you gotta pay. You have to pay a barber to do that. I don't gotta pay. Yeah. I've been a barber. I've been a barber for about 20 years, bro.
Yeah, I know, but it's still, regardless or not, it's still not plush.
It's not. It's gonna get there. Give it time.
Yeah. How and what made you how and what made you into a strength
and conditioning coach? Yeah. So 2007, I fought a few times. I had 6 amateur fights. And about 2007, I got into a car accident and it messed up the nerves in my legs and my hands. So the coach that I was with at the time, I actually, the funny thing is, right? So when I took it serious from what my injuries were from my sciatic in both legs and my nerves in my hands was when this was it was like 2007, right? And Vaughn, I used to train with a guy, my trainer at the time, his name was Vaughn Jackson. Mm-hmm. And we ran this drill where we would box. So the 3 guys I was working with was Kasim Wilson, was Rel, and was Anthony Flores. Mm-hmm. So I was working with them, and then I went in and I worked with Ant, and my legs started to give out, but it wasn't from like a punch or nothing like that. It's just my legs just locked up. So that's when I kind of woke up. But at the time, I didn't have a car, and I was working like 5 jobs at the time, bro. So I would ride my bike everywhere. I physically had a bicycle. It was a Schwinn. And I lived on Robbins and the Boulevard, like Robbins and Bustleton, right behind the Gary Barbera. So I lived there. And every day I will wake up 6 a.m. and I will ride my bike to work from work in 20th in 20th in Pennsylvania. I will ride from there, from Robbins to there, from there to IKEA, where the old Joe Hands used to be. From South there Philly? To Aramingo, huh?
South Philly?
Yeah. So from there to Aramingo, where the Bally's was, and from Bally's back to the crib, and then from the crib to a detail shop on Torresdale, because that's where I used to cut majority of the dude's hair there. So at the time, I will work 5 jobs. So I will cut hair, and I would train at 2 different facilities plus work with fighters. So I had like 5 gigs. So at this point, I recognized that like my injuries, I was getting too old to continue to compete in the amateurs. So Vaughn was like, you could be a late bloomer. And I'm like, yeah, but how many late bloomers really make it? So I said, fuck it. I'm just going to go ahead and get into some strength and conditioning. So then there was this guy that worked at Bally's, and I never ran into him again, man. I wish I could, but his name was Will. Very, very educated dude. So fucking smart. And he really schooled me on how to think about the fitness world. So then I put it all together. And then I went back to Vaughn and I said, Vaughn, I want to do strength and conditioning. Give me a shot. So he said, okay, I'll give you a shot. And that was it. Locked in the deal. I worked with Mike for about 12 fights, like 12 or 14 fights. I worked with Ant for about 9 fights, Kasim for 4 fights. No, longer than that. Probably like 6, 7 fights. And then I just worked with fighters all over the city. So then I just kept doing that until I reached where I'm at today.
All right. My man, Eric, he had the same question, but you basically answered that. What about stick hitting your core like Pacquiao used to do? Or
So
how Pacquiao
that
used
technique,
to do,
that
does
technique
that
is
actually
very
help the core?
So that's a very unusual technique. A lot of Muay Thai fighters use that. Muay Thai fighters tend to use that because it's like it's repeated hits to specific areas of the stomach, and it's done numerous times on the same spot. So it kind of builds that toughness of the of your abs, almost something similar to like calluses almost, or like it numbs, you know what I mean, that area. So that's why when they do it, he keeps tapping, and he does it over and over and over. So it's like eventually he'll get used to it. It is a good technique, but it's done mostly in Muay Thai, but not Americanized Muay Thai. I'm talking about Thailand Muay Thai. I run 2 miles, 13 and under, and run 300 meters and 2 400 meters. Okay. I guess that's for Izzy.
I don't know.
No. Nah,
They
bro.
say you need to get one, man.
Nah, I don't have a YouTube channel, man. In all honesty, bro, I'm always busy. So it's tough to get a YouTube channel. And I know that there's a lot of bread to be made in that stuff, but my theory is, all right. So the reason also too why I don't post a lot of my workouts is because I don't want people taking some of the workouts that I do and then kind of messing it up and doing it improper. A lot of my workouts, I do tend to admit that I get it from certain other coaches that I admire, but it's not like down to a T. So it's kind of like I like that motion. Now I got to try to incorporate that with the boxing sort of form. So I kind of redesign it into a different way. But a lot of the workouts, I do create and then go from there.
What is the best tool
go down
in weight?
You know what? There's different ways to doing it, man. So I'm not a dietitian. So I can't necessarily give you what the best diet is, but I do know a very effective way of dieting that helps people tremendously, and it's called reverse dieting. So one of the things of reverse dieting is, so say for an example, your calorie intake per day is 1,800 calories. So then you stick to the 1,800 calories and you're still losing the weight. So then every week you increase the increment of 1,800 to now by, say, increments of 50 or 100. So then you either go to 1,850 calories a day or 1,900. You know what I mean? And then you keep going up and up. So then to the point where you reach like 2,800 calories a day and you're still raising your metabolic rate that's helping you lose the weight. So you can eat whatever you want and still lose the weight because your metabolic rate is at a high level. You see what I'm saying? So that's a good way of doing it. But the only thing is, it's very complex and it's very accurate. So unless if you have the time to count your calories, to meal prep, to grab a scale, you put it on the thing, and then you check the nutrition size, and then you cut it and you say, all right, I got 3 ounces here. It is a lot of work. So if you got the time for it, then that's cool. If not, then, I will go more towards, vegetarian type of diet, type of stuff. You know who actually went vegetarian for only his camp was Tim Bradley.
Is that why his power sucked?
His power sucked. Nah, he just didn't have power, but he was strong as shit. Like, he looked the part. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. Maybe beef fatty too.
Another thing that you can try to look up is Chris Algieri's book called A Fighter's Kitchen. That's a really good book. He has a ton of recipes on there. He breaks everything down. He's a very knowledgeable guy. So if anybody in here wants to get some ideas on what dieting and what foods to eat, take a look at that book. That's a good book.
Psycho, I'm from Philly now. Where all the locations he used to ride his bike is not easy or normal. Especially down to Bully, yo. Down to Bully to South Philly.
No. I didn't go down the boulevard. So I would ride my bike from Robbins and Bustleton, and I will go straight down Bustleton till I got to Aramingo, from Aramingo to Delaware Ave, all the way straight down.
It's still vicious, though.
It is. And yo, you don't realize how many hills we really got until you're on the bike.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I was bitching.
All right, we got 3 minutes left. Get your questions in. Is strength and conditioning different for heavyweights compared to other weights since they don't have to make weight?
Yeah, actually it is. It's a very different. Okay. So a good way to answer that question is using Wilder, Andy Ruiz, and Anthony Joshua, all as examples. All of them lift weights different ways, but they didn't have no weight limit, and yet their performance was very very noticeable when it came to their conditioning, especially Wilder. You know what I mean? He changed his routine and started bench pressing more, and look what that did for him. Then you got Anthony Joshua, who touched the weights a lot more when he fought Andy Ruiz, and look how sluggish he was. And then you got somebody like Andy Ruiz, who was fat as shit, and then he came down, and then now he's, one of the fastest. I think Andy Ruiz is probably, hand speed is probably the fastest heavyweight. You know what I mean? So it's like, it definitely changes a lot, and you got to be very careful how you do this.
All right, I want to send a shout out to my man B Black, $5 super chat. Really appreciate the love, bro. Spence is a welterweight that expressed interest in fighting Canelo. If Canelo called out Boots, how do you see them matching up? Great channel. Canelo's at 168.
Yeah, I think he'll put Spence to sleep. I think he'll break the
he's
other
talking
side.
about Canelo called out Boots. How do you see him and Boots matching up?
If Canelo called out Boots, Canelo's not going to call out Boots. For one, I'll tell you why. Canelo's not going to call out Boots because there's no real reason to call out Boots. And then the second, Boots' brother Pooh sparred Canelo before Canelo is Canelo. And if y'all didn't know how that sparring went, just look at that. Look at that YouTube. Look it up. It's Pooh and Canelo sparring, and Pooh was just playing with him. And just look at that. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it's 3 divisions. right? So if I'm going to like hypothesize and say, okay, if they were in the same division, uh, you saw. All right, so let's just say this is Canelo at 154 pounds. You saw Canelo face Lara, and you saw him face Floyd.
Yeah.
And as good as Canelo is stylistically, it's just a bad fight. So yeah, it's a
Just because
bad
Canelo
fight for what he does
struggles,
well.
Canelo struggles with fighters that are fast and go in and out, in and out, in and out. You know what I mean? He struggled a little bit with Caleb, regardless of the outcome. He struggled a little bit with Amir Khan. Just Amir Khan can't punch. You know what I'm saying? But if you got somebody in there that can really box their ass off, look what happened with him and Islandi Lara. So I don't know.
He says, all right, skill for skill. To me, Canelo is, if you're gonna look at the elite level, he's probably the most complete fighter in boxing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Where he like his footwork's gotten better, good speed, good defense, good power.
He's well rounded all the way around.
Yeah, but
he's very well rounded.
If we're gonna keep it a bean, none of those things Canelo has are like 10s. Like they're all 8s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Boots got a couple of 10s on his shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Reflexes, speed. So skill for skill, if they were the same weight, I would favor Boots to beat Canelo.
Fair enough.
So if this was the Canelo that Lara fought in this Boots, I would favor Boots to beat Canelo.
Okay,
fair enough. I think Canelo is an animal. Yeah. It's just stylistically, he just struggles with that style. But shit, man.
That's a lot of Jones.
Last question. Is for you, Rob. Go ahead and answer this, and then let them know where to find you.
Coach, does your fighters meditate or use cold water breathing techniques? No, not at all. I am very familiar with the meditations and the cold water breathing techniques. Cold water breathing techniques is more of like a ancient Asian Chinese sort of martial art type of regimen. I think it's a great tool to use. It helps relaxes the body and focus where while you're breathing, you're not worried so much about the cold that is that you're basically, in there. So it's a very effective tool for sure. Meditation is good, not just for fighters, bro. It's good for people all the way around. Like there's scientific data that's been study after study that shows that meditation is a very phenomenal way of improving the human brain, for sure.
Everybody, really thank you for joining us, man. We don't do as many of these as I want to, and Rob's always asking me because Rob loves to give information about strength and conditioning and how people can improve physically and just improve performance. And while I think Rob's the best strength and conditioning coach in the world,
appreciate
as far as
I say I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, as far as notoriety goes, he's just starting to be recognized. So shit, if y'all can help push him, man, because he takes his time out to just do these things for y'all. So Rob, let him know.
Yeah, most certainly, man. Listen, I like Jamil said, man, I really enjoy having these talks with anybody. And in reality, I don't try to break things down in the scientific terms because that's something that people are going to be like, well, what the fuck is he talking about? You know what I mean? Like if I'd be like, yeah, when you do your lats and you perform your latissimus dorsis, and you're going to be like, what the fuck is he talking about? You know what I mean? But if I say you do this and you should feel it in your back, they're gonna be like, oh, I see what he's talking about. You know what I mean? So it's like I try to break things down so everyone can understand and not break it so much on a scientific level, because not everybody is hip to the terminologies in this field, and that's quite all right. But I'm very approachable. You can always hit me up. Follow me on the gram. I am Alchemy 101. You can also follow the gym page, Philly Boxing 101. You know, we post a lot of photos, a lot of pictures, a lot of updates and stuff like that. You can find me on so I got this Twitter. I don't know how to use it though. I had a Twitter since 2020 and I don't know how to use the shit. I just see a lot of people and I just hit follow, and I ain't got no friends. It's horrible. You know what I'm saying? But I'll start getting hip to that. And as far as the Instagram, man, I don't really like posting a lot of my workouts because I don't like to show too much during camps. I only sacrifice certain workouts, but I don't show the real sides. So the shit you see on Showtime and YouTube and stuff, it's like the beginning.
Question: finding you on Instagram, is it I am Poppy Boy 101 or
yeah? That's how you feel. Yeah. That's how you feel. All right.
I am Poppy Boy _
No, there's no Poppy Boy. As I am Alchemy 101. You can find me on the gram. Like I said, bro, ask any questions that you want. The only things that I won't answer is anything related to business, relating to boots or any of my clients. Any business side, any upcoming fights, or any sparring information that you're looking for. I don't answer any of those. If you want to ask questions relating to how to get more cardio, or how to get more endurance by using cardio, or how to develop more strength, explosive power, what do I think of this? What do I think of that? Feel free to hit me up, man.
All right, y'all. Thanks for coming out. We really appreciate it. Rob, thanks again for taking the time out, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Stay safe.
YSM Sports Media. We out.
You're